Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the September 21st instance of the Licking County Computer Society / East Central Ohio Technology User Club program meeting. It's my pleasure to introduce a familiar voice to the Licking County Computer Society, Mr. Bill James. Many of you know
Yay!
Bill for his ability to make complex tech topics easy to understand, covering everything from operating systems to home automation. Today, he's here to solve a problem most of us have likely experienced, the dreaded Wi-Fi dead zone. Bill will be explaining what mesh routers are, how they work, and how they can blanket our entire homes with a strong, consistent wireless signal. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Bill.
Welcome.
Thank you, Adam, and thank all of you for taking your time out to attend the meeting and my presentation. I hope you get something out of it. So we'll go ahead and get started. And thank you, Adam, for that wonderful introduction. I'm going to share my screen here.
Yep, we see it.
Okay. Of course, this presentation is brought to you as a benefit of your membership to APCUG, and we really appreciate your support. And so we can bring these kinds of presentations and workshops to you. But today we're going to be talking about mesh routers and how they can improve possibly your poor reception. Dealing with an unstable internet or poor Wi-Fi connections these days is one of the most annoying things imaginable. You might think about getting a Wi-Fi range extender if your home is huge or there are too many people using the internet. But I would advise you don't do that. A bad Wi-Fi experience could be caused by a variety of situations or problems. In addition to, many people are streaming TV and playing online games, which in itself takes up lots of bandwidth. Rooms that are too far from the router or a signal that can't consistently reach your garage or the back patio can be an added problem. From personal experience, I've tried range extenders and I can relate to that frustration. And they're really terrible. They produce a subpar experience. They add another netbook name that further restricts your bandwidth. And quite frankly, in my opinion, they're not worth the trouble. And here's why. You'll come across phrases like Wi-Fi extender, booster, and repeater, all which seems alike but operate quite differently. Most brands use one, two. Be clear, a Wi-Fi extender creates a separate network. A Wi-Fi booster amplifies the signal strength, and a Wi-Fi repeater relays and extends the network range without requiring a separate network name. So let's define these devices in detail. When we speak of a Wi-Fi extender, which also is known as a range extender or a wireless range extender, it's a device that expands area of an existing Wi-Fi network. It works by receiving the wireless signal from your router and then rebroadcasting it, effectively extending the range of your network. Wi-Fi extenders typically create a new network name, or SSID, and it requires you to connect to it separately. The drawback of this scheme is that extenders can potentially reduce the network speed due to the need to relay the signal. A Wi-Fi booster is often used to used interchangeably with a Wi-Fi extender, but it also can refer to a device that amplifies or strengthens the Wi-Fi signal. A Wi-Fi booster typically enhances the signal strength without expanding the network coverage, and it's designed Oops. And it's designed uh, uh, to overcome obstacles or interfere by boosting the signal's power, thereby, thereby improving the signal quality and range. However, it doesn't create a separate network like a Wi-Fi extender. When we talk about a Wi-Fi repeater, which also is known as a Wi-Fi, a range expander, it's similar to a Wi-Fi extender in that it expands the coverage of your Wi-Fi network. However, a repeater operates differently. Instead of creating a new network, it receives the Wi-Fi signal, amplifies it, and then retransmits it. The repeater acts as an intermediary between your devices and the router, relaying the signal back and forth to extend the range. And what happens is that it stays connected to the same network without needing to switch to a different SSID. In summary, all these devices aim to strengthen your current signal over the entire house. They function by capturing the Wi-Fi signal from your present router and using additional antenna to extend the range of the Wi-Fi signal. So the question is, are you better off purchasing a mesh router if you're rethinking about getting a Wi-Fi range extender or another device? Let's find out. First of all, the purpose of a router is to connect multiple devices together and facilitate communications between them by forwarding data packs between different networks. A router is a networking device that operates at the network layer of the open systems interconnection, or what is referred to as OSI model, and is responsible for directing traffic on a network. In a typical home or office network setup, a router connects to a modem that provides internet access from an internet service provider, or ISP. The router then creates a local network and assigns an IP address to all connected devices, allowing them to communicate with each other and access internet through the modem. Routers use routing tables and protocols to determine the most efficient path for data packets to travel between networks. They also provide additional features, such as firewall protection, quality of service management, and port forwarding for host servers. With multiple devices spread throughout your home, a mesh router is like a team of routers that can relay your wireless to the modem better than a traditional router, especially when you're connecting at range. Some background on mesh routers. They're relatively new technology that has gained popularity in recent years. The first mesh router was introduced by a startup company called eero in 2016. The company was acquired by Amazon in 2019, which helped to increase the visibility and availability of those routers. Since 2016, many other companies have entered the market with their own versions, including Google, Netgear, TP-Link, and Linksys. According to a report by Technavio, the global mesh router market is expected to grow at a compound annual growth of over 21% has grown over 21% from 2020 to 2024. And the report also cites that the increasing adoption of smart homes and the growing demand for high-speed internet connectivity are the key drivers for expanding the market. In 2020, COVID-19 resulted in a surge in demand for home networking products, including mesh routers. With many people working and learning from home, subject of some controversy, particularly in relationship to privacy concerns. In 2018, it was reported that some mesh routers were collecting and transmitting user data, which raised questions about the security of the technology. But as far as popularity, mesh routers still are a particularly good fit for a large or multi-home where your Wi-Fi network has lots of ground to cover, so that you have internet access throughout your space. But they also can help boost speed at range in small or medium-sized homes as well. There are a lot of new next-gen options on the market, so it's a good time to make the switch. So here are the most popular mesh routers, each with their own unique features and benefits. One is the Google Nest Wi-Fi. Google Nest Wi-Fi is a popular mesh router system that uses Google Assistant to control the network. It's easy to set up and expand and offers strong Wi-Fi coverage throughout the home. The Amazon eRoute is another popular mesh router system that is designed for easy setup and management, and it offers strong performance and coverage that includes features like parental controls and device monitoring. The Netgear Orbi is a high-performance mesh router that offers fast speeds and reliable coverage. It also has advanced features like guest Wi-Fi, parental controls, and can be managed using a mobile app. The TP-Link Deco is a budget-friendly mesh router system that offers reliable coverage and easy setup. It includes features like parental controls and can be managed also through a mobile app. The Link 6 VLOP is a popular mesh router that offers strong coverage and fast speeds. It includes features like parental controls, and it also can be managed using a mobile app or a web interface. These are just a few examples of popular mesh routers available in the market, but it is important for you to research and compare the different systems to find the one that best fits your needs and your budget. As far as Wi-Fi standards are concerned, Mesh Router supports the new Wi-Fi standards. The latest one are Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E. Wi-Fi 6 is known as 802.11ax, is the latest Wi-Fi standard that was introduced in 2019. It offers faster speeds, improved network capacity, and better performance in congested areas. Wi-Fi 6 includes a new feature called Orthogonal Frequency Division Multiple Access, or OFDMA, which allows multiple devices to use the same channel simultaneously. Wi-Fi 6E is an extension of the Wi-Fi 6 standard, and it was introduced in 2020. It operates on the 6 gigahertz bandwidth, which is less congested and offers more available spectrum for Wi-Fi devices. 6E also includes new features like the 160 megahertz channel widths, which can provide even faster speeds. So both Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E offer significant improvements over previous Wi-Fi standards in terms of speed, capacity, and performance in congested areas. Some of the improvements also include new features that can help improve the overall user experience, especially in homes and offices with many connected devices. However, to take advantage of these new standards, users will need a compatible device that supports Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 6E. And some of the new smartphones will support 6 and 6E. So one of the other concerns is where to place the router, uh, particularly a mesh router. So the best placement depends on several factors, including the layout of your home or building, the number of access points to be used, the type of obstacles that can affect the Wi-Fi signal. So here are some general guidelines for placing mesh routers. One, we want to place the primary node near the modem. The primary node should be placed near the modem, which is typically located where the internet service enters the home. This will ensure that the main node has a strong signal and can communicate effectively with the modem. Place your access ports in central locations. Access ports should be placed in a central area such as a hallway or open space to ensure they can reach all parts of the home. This will help eliminate dead spots and ensure consistent coverage throughout your home. As you can see from our example, we show the router in one room and then we have nodes in other rooms. That are connecting to other Wi-Fi devices. Another thing you want to be concerned about is you want to avoid any kind of interference. So you want to place your router away from other wireless devices such as cordless phones, baby monitors, or microwaves, which can interfere with this Wi-Fi signal. You also want to avoid obstacles. Mesh routers should be placed away from the walls, furniture, and other obstacles that can block the Wi-Fi signal. Access points should be placed at a height that allows them to communicate with the other access points without being blocked. And lastly, you want to test your signal strength. So once you place the primary node and the access point in the places that you want, you should test the signal strength in different parts of the home to ensure that there are no dead spots or weak signals. And that this will help you to identify any areas that need additional access points, or you might want to adjust the placement of your existing devices, or existing nodes rather. So let's talk about router longevity. So how long will a mesh router last? Well, a good router, mesh or otherwise, should last at least 5 years, if not longer. I always told people in my club that if your router is older than 5 years old, then you probably need to check and see if there's a more recent model, particularly one that probably has upgraded firmware, etc. Because the key thing is to watch is for regular firmware updates from the manufacturer to keep the network security up to date. So if your router isn't receiving those, then it's probably a good idea to start looking for a new one. The other thing to watch for are technical improvements to Wi-Fi itself, which might make it worthwhile to upgrade to a model that's newer and more advanced. Wi-Fi typically gets a big update once every several years, most recently in 2019 when Wi-Fi 6 became the newest and the fastest version of that standard. Then there's the recent arrival of Wi-Fi 6E, which brought the 6 gigahertz band into the mix as sort of an exclusive expressway for the next gen traffic. But mid-cycle upgrades like that usually aren't worth pouncing on right away. Wi-Fi 7, you're beginning to see that standard being implemented as 802.11be, and it offers a quantum leap in wireless performance in that from 8K streaming video to immersive VR experience, VR being virtual reality, user can around the world can enjoy all new levels of increased speed and the reduced latency. Wi-Fi 7 could be coming soon to a device you own. Well, let's talk about router costs, mesh router costs particularly. The average cost of a mesh router can vary depends on the brand, model, and features offered. A basic router system with 2 nodes range from $150 to $300. More advanced systems with additional nodes or higher performance capabilities could cost anywhere from $300 to $500. So let's look at what's new in 2025. So this is based on recent reviews and tests. Wi-Fi 7 is becoming mainstream in high-end mesh kits. Multiple vendors have released mesh routers or mesh systems running with full Wi-Fi support, including tri-band and even quad-band designs. These offer features like multi-link operation, 4K, very wide channel, which helps boost throughput with reduced latency. There's also multi-gigabyte Ethernet ports are showing up on more often, which offer 2.5 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, and 10 gigahertz. And you ask yourself why um, those ports are important. A lot of home automation devices still currently function best on 2.5 gigahertz. Some struggle with 5G, and of course, none of them are working on 10G. So, for both WAN, which is wide area network, and LAN, local area network, sometimes a backhaul among mesh nodes is helpful. So it's useful in your internet plan to have both uh, to have those both if you have wired connections. Another one is the dedicated backhaul bands or better wireless backhaul performance. In the mesh kits, you want to avoid losing a lot when nodes talk to the others, uh, to each other wirelessly. Also, more mesh chips are allowing wired backhaul. On the better real-world performance, especially for range through walls and floors, tests show that Wi-Fi 7 mesh kits maintain gigabit plus speeds at moderate distances. More options in the mid-budget range. The price of Wi-Fi 7 mesh kits is coming down, and there are options that balance performance versus costs more sensibly. Uh, Here's some systems that I've uh, been able to identify. One is the ASUS Zen Wi-Fi BQ116 16 Pro, and it is, according to Tom Sky, the best overall in many of the best lists, including dual 10 gigabit ports, excellent range, and raw performance. But the trade-offs is that the price is high, and um, it may be overkill to your internet plan. Um, if it's slower, say to 1 or 2 gigabits. The TP-Link Deco BE63 is an excellent mesh router, Wi-Fi 7 tri-band, good balance of range, speed, price, and especially good for multi-gig internet. Some of the trade-off and what to watch for in purchasing that is that there's few ultra premium features and it may run hot under load. Some ports may not be multi-gig in all units. Then there's the Netgear Orbi 870 series. It's a strong performer, excellent for large homes, great backhaul, premium bill. It's expensive, big, high power usage may be more than many households need. There's also a TriLink Deco XE75, and it's a good budget pick among mesh systems. Still very usable if you don't need bleeding edge top distance or throughput. Some of the trade-offs of it doesn't match the very top in throughput, limitations on port speed, and wireless backhaul in some cases. The Eero Pro 7 is easy to set up, good smart home, has Matter, which is another protocol which allows um, a device to connect to any other device, regardless of whether it is Android, iOS, Linux, etc. Thread integration, solid Wi-Fi 7 features support, decent speed. Some of the trade-offs for it is that it's fewer ports, doesn't have the absolute top throughput or configuration option, and it's more expensive when buying multiple nodes. The Netgear OB370 is a more affordable option, and it's good for people who are upgrading with earlier standards who want newer tech without premium or cost. And one of the things it does, one of the trade-off rather, is it omits the 6 gigahertz band in some versions, dual band instead of tri-quad in some cases, less headroom for future um, devices. So let's look at what to prioritize in your home if you're in the market for buying a new router, particularly a mesh router. Well, some of the things you want to look at is internet plan speed. If your plan is 500 megabits or 1 gigabits, Wi-Fi 7 multi-gig ports help. If you're still on less than 20 megabits per second, you won't need the top of the line gear. So you have to keep that in mind. Your house layout and size, walls, number of floors, material, what is made of, whether the walls are brick, plaster, or concrete, and also how large the area is. Larger homes or tricky layouts need more nodes and a stronger signal. Number of devices and usage. If you're streaming 4K or 8K, multiple users, gaming, video calls, those can stress out older gear. Lots of Internet of Things devices don't need high throughput, but need a stable connection. And then there's wired versus wireless backhaul. If you can run Ethernet between nodes, you can get much better performance. If not, stronger wireless backhaul or systems with dedicated backhaul bands matter more. Look for features and what ecosystem you're using. Smart home support, such as Thread and Matter. I have security features, firmware updates, and how user-friendly is the configuration or the app. And then consider not paying for a lot of things you don't really need. So sometimes you pay for a lot of headroom that you'll never use. So you want to match more to your needs. So some of the product options for Wi-Fi 7 mesh systems that you can buy now. Here's some mesh kits on the market, and these are good examples. Some are very premium, some are more affordable to give you a sense of what to expect. So the Asus 3-pack is a high-end tri-band Wi-Fi 7 mesh, very fast, lots of antennas, good for large home, premium pricing. The Eros Pro 7 3-pack, great balance of throughput, coverage, smart home features, easy to set up than some more complex kits. The Asus Zen Wi-Fi BD4 is a 3-pack, has dual band Wi-Fi 7, offers less peak speed than the tri-quad brand ones, but offers a better value if you don't need ultra high throughput or have fewer speed needs. Then there's a TP-Link Deco B63 3-pack, very solid, tri-band, good range, good port options, and one of the most recommended in the reviews for 2025. Then there's another TP-Link Deco E5000 3-pack, and it's more budget friendly as far as an entry level into Wi-Fi 7. And it's still good through with some trade-offs in features and port speeds. Then there's the TP-Link BE65, And it's again high end for more coverage, faster LAN ports, good if you need speed and want to future proof. And then there's a version of the BE65, which is called the outdoor mode. And that's useful if you need coverage outdoors, such as your garage, patio, etc. Or if you need a semi outdoor extension. It offers weatherproofing and it has, um, but the nodes in themselves will offer less performance if they're placed far from the main nodes. And then there's the Aero Max 7 one pack, and it's a premium single unit option. Strong throughput, use if you need less coverage or rather have good location of your nodes. So some of the pros and cons. Mesh routers are popular types of home networking technology that uses multiple nodes or access points to provide Wi-Fi coverage throughout a larger area. And some of the pros are extended coverage. Mesh routers use multiple access points to provide extended coverage, which is a benefit for larger homes or buildings that have many rooms and walls that block Wi-Fi signals. This allows users to access Wi-Fi throughout their homes without experiencing dead spots or weak signals. Scalability. Mesh routers also can easily be expanded by adding additional access points, making it easy to scale up the network as your needs change or your house expands. They offer seamless handoff that allows devices to move between access points without experiencing any disruptions or connectivity or the need to manually switch networks. And this is ideal for homes with many devices or for users who frequently move from one room to another. And easy to set up. Mesh routers are relatively easy to set up as a user only needs to plug in the access point and follow the prompts on the mobile app. And the app typically provides a step-by-step instruction, making it easy for users to install and manage your networks. Now, some of the cons, of course, as we noted previously, is the expense. Mesh routers are more expensive than traditional routers, particularly for larger homes that require multiple access points. They also have a potential for interference. If they use multiple access points, those can cause interference from other wireless devices in the home, which can lead to slower speeds or drop connections. They also require a strong Wi-Fi signal uh, to function properly, which can be a problem for users in areas with weak or inconsistent signals. And there's limited customization, which means they offer limited options for advanced users who want more control over their network. And they often come with default settings that are not prioritized uh, security wise. So it's important to change the default passwords and usernames for your router admin interface to prevent unauthorized access. Additionally, disable any unnecessary features or services that may expose a security threat. So, in summary, a computer router plays a critical role in connecting multiple devices and network together and facilitating communication between them, allowing users to access the internet and communicate with other devices on the network. Wi-Fi extenders or similar devices can produce a subpar experience that may add another network name to your home that further restricts bandwidth and are not worth the trouble. I understand that a Wi-Fi extender creates a separate network and a Wi-Fi boosters amplify. Understand, I'm sorry, that a Wi-Fi extender creates a separate network, a Wi-Fi booster amplifies the signal strength, and a Wi-Fi repeater relay and extends the network range without requiring a separate network name. Mesh routers are great options for users who need extended Wi-Fi coverage in their homes or buildings. However, they can be more expensive, and may have some limitations when it comes to customization and interference. The placement of mesh routers should be optimized to ensure consistent coverage throughout the home or building, with access points placed in central locations away from interference and obstacles. Mesh routers are relatively new technology, has seen rapid growth in recent years. As the demand for high-speed internet connectivity continues to increase, it's likely the mesh routers will become even more popular in the future. Scalability. Mesh routers offer scalability to allow the incorporation of additional access points for effective extended Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home or business. They support the latest Wi-Fi technology, Wi-Fi 6, 6E, and 7. It's important to note the price can change, and new models with different prices will be introduced to the market. So I recommend checking with retailers, online marketplaces to get the most up-to-date information on pricing of mesh routers. Privacy and security. Mitigate privacy and security risks with mesh routers. It's advised to follow best practices, such as securing your network with a strong password, enabling encryption, regularly updating firmware, and implementing additional security measures like using a firewall or antivirus software on your devices. So lastly, it's also important for users to research and compare different systems to find the one that best fits their needs and budgets. So some of the references I used was the best Wi-Fi mesh network kits for most people by WiCarter, Wi-Fi range extenders versus mesh networks. What's the difference? By PC Mag, Mesh Wi-Fi network advantages and disadvantages by LifeWire. What is a mesh Wi-Fi and how does it work? I Had You Geek. Untangling the Mesh, everything you need to know about Wi-Fi systems by CNET. Wi-Fi range extender suck by Review Geek. So that concludes my presentation, and I'll be glad to entertain any questions that someone or anyone might have.
Any questions online or in the room? If you have a question online, please raise your hand. And if you're in the room, we should be able to hear you already. Hey, Dave.
I guess I'm still kind of puzzled about what exactly is the difference between a mesh router and just, I guess, a standard router, let's say.
Okay, the standard router just uses, it's just a router. And if you want to extend the signal to another area of your house, particularly if you have a weak spot, you'll have to do a Wi-Fi booster or an extender or one of those devices in order to extend the range of that router's signal.
Yeah.
And in doing so, is that creates another SSID. And it depends on your device. Typically, it'll just automatically switch to the next SSID. But all that layer also slows down your effectiveness of your Wi-Fi if that's what you're using. Where a mesh router, you might consider that they're all routers. In other words, there's no difference. In other words, the router that you have in the main router and its nodes, they're all equal. So there is no change of SSID. It's just like one big blanket that's covering an area. You've just added another node, which essentially is another router. So that's the difference.
Yeah, the mesh router is better because you can add capacity by buying more or less nodes depending on the size of your home, but it's meant to give you blanket network coverage over your home where you can go from room to room without any hiccups, essentially.
And that would be, I think I guess I have a comparatively small residence, so I don't think I'd need a mesh router. Right now, I'm sitting
One way
here,
to,
huh?
if you're using Wi-Fi, one way to determine whether or not you need another node is that when you go, say for instance, to a bedroom or a kitchen or a garage that's away from the router and you're on Wi-Fi, if you get no signal, then that means that you need to have either extender or you need to upgrade to a mesh router.
Yeah. So, yeah, so far I haven't had that problem, but I can yeah, I understand that could be a problem.
Like in my case, I'm almost totally on Wi-Fi. Well, I am on total Wi-Fi, but I have devices such as the doorbell that's on the front porch. It runs on Wi-Fi, and so it has to have a Wi-Fi signal to for it to function properly because it has a camera and a microphone. Likewise, in the garage, I have an EV car that the charger that's in the garage is on Wi-Fi. So I have to be able to reach that area. My router is in a bedroom, which is across uh, from the garage. I mean, it's a distance from the garage to that bedroom.
Mhm.
But so I need to have a good signal. So that's the reason why I have a mesh router.
I see.
And I just only have one node. I have the router and that one node.
Yeah, I've got the Google uh, Pro Mesh Wi-Fi router. I think it's 6E is what the standard is. I've got three of those pucks in my house, and it's does pretty well. I If I wanted to tear my house up, I would run Ethernet between them. My next house, I'm going to make sure it has Ethernet run throughout, so I can do the wired backplane. Like Bill was saying, it really helps even more to have a faster signal if you can do wired from node to node.
You know, I just prefer not having all those wires running, throughout the house. So I'm just totally on Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Any other questions online or in the room? Well, Bill, I thank you kindly for being here.
Oh, not a
Um,
problem. My pleasure.
if you want to
Gave me a
come
chance.
back, if you want to come back next month, John Kennedy and some of us together as a team are going to be presenting on a cybersecurity workshop. He got some hard copies and I believe PDF copies of this workbook where we can go through together and make sure that everyone's prepared for all future cybersecurity needs. So come back on the October 19th for that.
Oh, I like to do that.
All right.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, thank you. The
All
invite
right.
extended to everyone else here too. All right. Hey, Everett, I think we can stop recording.